I change your bum life. You fight me, it's a celebration.
I would beat you.
When you sign to fight me, it's a celebration. You ring back home, you ring your wife. Baby, we done it. We're rich, baby. Conor McGregor made us rich. Break out the red panties. We're rich, baby.
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to the fifth round. As always, your boy, Stephen Moustaris. And, man, I've been talking about it a little bit, breaking down, like, the whole Phil Hawes, absolute destruction of Darren Wynn. And, his... him and DC getting into it, Daniel Cormier, and then it kind of just broke down, his Donald Cerrone and Joe Lozon, the new Habib Tony, which isn't that serious, but it is one of them, like, we just can't get this fight to go. But now this leaves me, this fight card in general is fucking phenomenal. It might have been one of the better fight nights that we've had in forever, because, we've been stuck in the Apex Apex arena for the UFC, where... there's barely any crowd in there. I think if I always hear right, I think there's only like 200 people in there, and they got to go to UFC in Austin, in Texas. It was popping. It felt like a pay-per-view watching that shit this weekend, and the amount of finishes were nuts. I've been talking about it too. It's like there's 13 fights, because if you count Joe Lozon, Don Cerrone being cut, that would have been 14, but 13 fights, 8 finishes, 1 submission, 7 knockouts. Like, boy. What else can you ask for as a fan? So, and the ones that did go to decision were all pretty good fucking fights. So that was the other plus. But, this goes into it. I feel like this is a weekly topic now. I feel like I'm doing it literally every week. Every time it's a main event, whether that be Bellator, PFL, one championship, it doesn't matter. I'm sitting here and I'm always asking, was that person robbed in the main event? Like, I feel like these judges are always, it's getting crazy out here. I want to do a video kind of breaking down, like, maybe all the new judging criteria or the new judging scores we should go off of. But, man, it's, I personally, this Josh Emmett, Calvin Kattar fight, I personally thought, watching it, I thought that, it's the classic fight we always see. It's kind of like the Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier fight where, one guy's landing all the power and the other guy's just getting all the numbers out. Like, it felt like Calvin Kattar definitely landed more strikes, but at the same time, every time Josh Emmett threw, it was throwing Calvin Kattar off his, just off his game plan a little bit, like out of his stance, moving him. The damage was definitely piling up. I know they both got cut, but I thought it was a really gritty performance by both of them. I thought they both did what they probably sought out to do. I feel bad for both of them. Calvin Kattar came out there, looked amazing, stayed out of the range, at least of the power with Josh Emmett. And then Josh Emmett also did a great job of shutting down Calvin Kattar every time he went to, start sprinting in that fight and start turning into, kind of what he did to Giga or what Max Holloway does to everybody or what Volkanovski just did to Korean Zombie. Like, these guys start sprinting and then they start running away with it. And I thought Josh Emmett did a really good job nullifying that. So I thought it was a great fight all around. I did think Josh Emmett deserved it just a little bit more. I thought he just stayed a little more active. But I won't lie to you, too. I definitely thought he lost the 4th round, and that 5th round was up there. So, I'm not a judge. I feel like I have a better eye than most of these judges, but also it's easier to say when you're at home and you're not looking through a cage, and maybe you miss something if it's on the other side of the cage. Like, we're pretty spoiled when it comes to watching it at home. So that's just the one part where I felt terrible. They both did an amazing job. I kind of want more draws out here in the UFC, if I'm being honest, and MMA in general. I don't think it's always such a clear-cut finish. Like, I know it's way different than, the schoolyard or whatever when people got in fights at school, but I remember all the time, like, the 7 or 8 fights we actually get to watch in school, and I think maybe only one of those ever are actually legitimate fights where people start actually throwing back and forth and you might see somebody get rocked or knocked out. Usually it's like somebody slaps somebody and they kind of get tangled up, and then teachers are all over the place. So, but, you go back to the schoolyard and, somebody's like, oh, I hit him good one time. And it's like, well, yeah, but the other guy hit you. It's like, there's so many draws in school. Like, there's nobody wins. Like, it's rare you actually see somebody get knocked out in high school or middle school, whatever it is. So it kind of feels like that. It's more like we should go back to it. Like, it's not always a winner. Not to be mean here. Like, I feel like, if especially when it comes to the wrestling matchup against the stand-up, like we watch it all the time. Like the Caitlin Vieira Holly Holm fight we just watched. you know, it was a lot of that. Like, you know, yeah, we got Caitlin Vieira getting Holly Holm down a little bit, but also Holly Holm was doing great on the stand-up, and then Caitlin Vieira gets it, even though I thought Holly Holm might have deserved it. But, yeah, I think there should be more draws. I don't know about what other people are thinking. I'm never mad at a draw. Like, doesn't mean you have to run it back or anything. It just means, like, hey, you know, you guys both put on a great performance. We're both going to move on from there. I'd kind of like to see maybe in, like, a title fight or in like a number one contender spot matchup, maybe like an overtime or something. Like, I kind of like how they do it. I haven't watched The Ultimate Fighter in forever, but I always liked how they did the 2-round thing where it's like, all right, after 2 rounds, if it's tied, like, let's go to sudden death. And I think that would be smart sometimes. I think it would be, we go at the end of the 5 rounds, we go at the end of 3 rounds, we're like, hey, look, like, this fight's still a draw in our opinion. Like, yeah, I know there's 3 rounds, somebody should win 2, like, we get it, but there's too many 9-9s or 10-10s, whatever you want to decide. And I felt like 3 of those fucking rounds on Saturday with Calvin Kattar and Josh Emmett were 10-10s, 9-9s, whatever you want to call them. I thought they were like washes. I think they each kind of won one, and then I think it's 5th round, it's whatever you guys want to pick, you know. So it's just tough. Not mad at either of them. I can't wait. I was kind of hoping Josh Emmett would win because we kind of seen. Don't get me wrong. I know Calvin Kattar's looking better, and I know he can learn and, you know, still progress still. But I just think right now I don't want to see him against the Holloways or the Volkanovskis right now. We kind of already seen that, and I kind of would like to see Josh Emmett. You know, I think a Josh Emmett Volkanovski fight would be disgusting. No offense. Like, I think Holloway would probably pull away from Emmett, but Emmett's got that power, man. I'm telling you. Everybody knows it. He's got great wrestling. I think him and Volkanovski would be a phenomenal matchup. But again, I mean, you still got Yair Rodriguez fighting Ortega. That's going to be a great one. You know, this division is just so stacked. I'm loving it. But with that being said, I can't wait to see both of them kind of go on and see the next step. There's so many people in this division, like I just said. But, man, yeah, if you guys felt a certain way about Calvin Kattar winning, like, I don't think anybody got robbed this weekend like I do the previous, you know, 10, 11 weeks, it feels like now. But we are in this really weird thing right now where every main event or every crucial fight that goes to a decision it's just up in the air. It's like, oh my God. Like, I don't know. I feel like back in the day, every time I'd watch a fight, especially in the early, like the late 2000s, early 2010s, like I felt like they had a kind of good thing going with the judging. And then recently, it's probably due to all these guys being so good now and their talent level getting better and better, and just nonstop action. It's probably tough as fuck. Like, somebody knocks somebody down in the first couple seconds of in the round. It's like, shit, there's 4.5 minutes left still. The guy that got knocked down can get back up, take him down, ride him for 2 minutes, and then gets back up, and they're both like throwing, and they both hit each other. It's like, how do you score that? You know, it's like, yeah, buddy got a knockdown in the first couple minutes or the first minute, but then, dude, the guy knocked down, got up, took him down, rode him for 2 minutes. That's impressive. That's got to count for something. But then the last minute of them just standing, it's a wash. Like, we got to do a little better. So, but this has been the 5th round. As always, your boy Stephen Moustaris, and that was amazing fight. I thank you, boys. Seriously.